On this show, we talk a lot about how AI can drive your marketing, about how AI can make your marketing better, faster, and become the thing that we've all wanted it to be. It can help us actually do the stuff and keep up with all the tasks. But in this episode, we have to ask the question, is AI actually ruining marketing? That's what we're going to explore in this episode, amongst a lot of other news. So welcome back to the AI Driven Marketer. I'm Dan Sanchez. Friends call me Danchez, and I'm joined by my brother, Travis Sanchez.
Come on, another day, another AI tool.
Hey, and this is the Bot Bros segment. So we are brothers, and I know we don't look like we're related, but we are related. Same mom, same dad, I swear. And we're going to be diving in.
We haven't done the DNA test, but pretty sure.
At least we grew up together. That much we know.
True. Sorry, Mom. She watches. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. The listeners,
dude, Mom listens to this. Mom listens to this. How could she not?
Okay, sorry.
Where we cover the AI news every week, and of course, there's some ridiculous antics as well, because that's what makes it fun. And I've heard from a number of people that's, I don't know, refreshing, I guess. But why we even have Bot Bros? But mostly it's because there's a lot of hype when it comes to marketing. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of new tools, new things, new press releases going out all the time. Every week I cull through the news and I pick out the 3 things that you need to know. We cover a poll, we cover what's going on, practical things, into kind of a variety show, if you haven't known, for Bot Bros in this segment. So let's actually kick it off with this idea around is AI ruining marketing? And this idea comes from a post on LinkedIn from Kathleen Booth. She's a fantastic marketer, been in the game a while, and there's not a lot of marketers I like have my respect as much as people like Kathleen Booth. Like, she is truly great tactically, strategically, as a leader, as a content creator. Like, anytime she says something, I see her post come through on LinkedIn, I lean in. So when she was talking about this idea of hey, AI is making a lot of marketers not do good marketing, I read the post, and it's essentially a conclusion that hey, we marketers often are under the gun to produce things, and AI is making us kind of lazy. We're moving too fast. We're not reading the content. Our voices are going into mediocrity, and we're not even fact checking as much as we should be. So is AI ruining marketing? Sometimes. There's a phrase, actually, Trav, I have to ask. Have you ever heard the phrase that marketers ruin everything?
No, I haven't.
You ever heard this phrase?
No, but I get it. Yeah. I mean,
I know, it's immediately
there is that subtle feeling that you've heard the disdain for marketing, even just on a common man's lips. They say, oh, look at that marketing, or, oh, look how they advertise that. You just kind of oh, there's this negative bent on what marketers have chosen to do. So, I mean, I've heard it in different ways.
Yeah, I know. It's I feel like it's a subtle life mission to make marketing better, make marketing more trustworthy, to make marketers the good guys someday. But the reason why the phrase, if you're unfamiliar with it, comes from, it mainly kind of started around social media and the internet, because people start building websites, and then marketers come in and start adding all these banner ads to it, and then social media comes, and then marketers start sticking ads and all of it. Essentially, marketing's always behind where the attention is. So whether it's your favorite brand or your favorite musician, your favorite anything, and then marketing comes and is oh, I'm taking over, and we put all the good stuff behind the pay gate and just scream at people through a megaphone, and that's the kind of feeling we have. And of course, marketing always over promises and under delivers. That's another problem, to where marketers are just below used car salesmen, lawyers, marketers. That's usually where we fall as far as not trust meter goes. But now AI's come. So are marketers ruining AI too? Or I'd almost flip it and be is AI ruining good marketing? It's probably more likely. The consequence of us moving too fast with AI and not really truly grasping AI and running with it and doing well with it is there's the cost to it. And I think the cost is just lost trust. You don't do good marketing, well, you lose trust, because if you do good marketing, the effect of good marketing is more trust. More likely someone's going to take that action step, click that link, buy that thing, buy again, because of the how you couched it, how you promised it, and it actually worked, right? Provided you're getting behind good products. So I'll link to that post in the show description. She actually wrote a long article on her Substack, kind of like backing it up. Worth reading as a marketer. If you're in the mode where you feel like things might be going a little too fast, where if I'm saying this and you're like, yeah, this is starting to make me twinge a little bit because someone on my team is going awfully fast, go and read this article. It's worth the read. It's worth the think about, because as we are leaning into AI, and I recommend everybody should be, I think this is one of those things where we have to put like a check in order to make sure we aren't running ahead of our feet. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen a puppy run, or a kitten for that matter? You know how their back legs are more powerful than their front legs. So like they start running crooked because their back legs are running slightly faster than their front legs. Have you seen this happen?
Yes, yeah.
This is most marketers right now, I'm convinced, with AI. They're like, look how much content I can make. And they're like, they're gonna fall over in a second.
Yeah.
I think this is what Kathleen is talking about in her post.
Yeah, that post, it was really good. And it was simple to understand in terms of just trust being deteriorated by the speed at which AI can create content, and a marketer's ability to communicate the vision to AI and have it spit out copy, visuals, videos now. But people are reading through those lines. And she said it so well. She was like, it hasn't changed the metrics up front, but it's slowly going to degrade that trust to where it's going to hit numbers hard. But man, that's been a little bit of society right now. There's been a lot of lack of trust in government, in big pharma, in FDA, food things. So marketers who have been trying to uphold brands that maybe are losing that trust. But the question is, where she mentioned it. She's like, where did the belief go missing in every company story so that people have that trust? It's still there. I think for marketers to double down on that and go, what can we confidently brand and market so that people go, okay, I'm going to get behind this wholeheartedly. Same thing, your story about picking a perfect creatine or protein. You're like, I trust that
this
guy,
brand, Jocko.
Right?
I know that guy.
Trust that guy. Even though, should you really trust him? I mean, I don't know. What does he know about making creatine? That's a very like specific science,
he's jacked. He's jacked, so that helps a little bit.
I know, but everyone's now finding out all the jacked guys are taking testosterone and dying at 29 from heart issues.
Yeah, well, he probably is taking testosterone and all the other stuff, and that doesn't really bother me that much, because
no, it's taking too much testosterone is the problem. So if you take testosterone, we're not hating.
I don't know. I think the Navy SEAL guys have a really high level of integrity most of the time. I don't know. Like, I read it because I've heard his story, and he could be lying in his story, but if he did, a lot of people would be coming up to say so. So I don't know. I haven't met him, but I've heard enough of his stories to kind of understand where his values are at, and that's what I trust.
It's one of those posts that like kind of recenters you. Like, okay, that's right. I'm not just increasing the noise. I'm not just multiplying the the AI slop content out there. I need to really believe what I'm saying, and then that will actually outshine and be shown inside of every video, every script.
I think there's a place for this, the people who are able to actually like think deeply and wrestle with things and then figure things out and do things and then actually use that to come up with AI content, or they're going to be the ones who win. So if you've been getting by just being like delegating things to a writer or this or that, like, this is going to be a struggle for you to adopt AI. So you need to wrestle, and like, I don't know, like, I lean a lot on, like, we both have like this foundation of Christianity to pull at from like the deep core set worldview values, but then even like being able to wrestle with all kinds of ideas out in the culture and stuff. It's funny, it's all like, I don't know what, like the people who are championing what is that college path?
What, like the academic?
Yeah, but it's like the humanities, right? Humanities, they're kind of right. the people who like read broadly in literature and history and the arts and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, those are the kind of things that end up mattering a lot more than the STEM stuff, because the STEM stuff, like the math and the quant and the scientific, like AI is kind of eating away at that stuff. And the stuff that really matters is like the depth and the values and the philosophy, even religion and all that kind of stuff, because those are the things that kind of help you discern reality and what is truth, what is true, what is good, and what is beautiful, and like a solid understanding of that, and then expressed through AI can actually yield really good things. But if we're not wrestling with the deep things, then it makes it hard to not stay to not. It just makes it easy to create slop. So the humanities, the people that I used to shun the people being like, it's all about the humanities. I'm like, man, just go get a business degree or a software engineering degree. You'll be fine. I'm like, well, no, those ended up mattering now. All right. So is marketing ruining everything? I don't know. Read the post. Is it ruining your marketing? Is probably the more relevant question. That's the question to ask. Is it ruining you as a marketer or your team? Ask that question. Read the post. Wrestle with it. Moving on to some new news. Man, this is juicy. This is like AI world drama that's not super relevant for marketers, but it was just so juicy. I had to share it here on the show. And I told you yesterday, Trav, but like a couple episodes ago, we talked about OpenClaw, this open source software that really like released AI models to do what they're fully capable of, which is like run your whole life. Like essentially, if they had access to your computer and your credit card and your instructions, they could go and do whatever for you, just like a human would with a laptop. They don't know how to do it. They will figure out how to do it. They will code their own applications and figure it out. They're like truly autonomous agents. But the problem with OpenClaw is, well, the software was kind of new. It's only like a couple of 4 weeks, 6 weeks old. So like it has lots of like security loopholes and flaws and bugs and stuff. So like lots of people getting hacked. And I mean like lots, like tens of thousands of people getting hacked. Like their API credentials sitting out, sometimes bank account, credit card information, personal information, just like leaked everywhere because people can prompt inject it and they all come dumping out. Right. Not hard to do, but it's a good picture of the future. That's where we left off with last episode. Since then, new things have happened with OpenClaw. The man behind it, Peter, I have dug into his backstory, and that guy was freaking an OG. Like he was a freaking gangster developer. Like this guy sold his company for like $100 million, was kind of like retired for a while, as people do when they kind of build a big business, sell it and burn out, and then fell out of love with why they got into code. He developed software that was kind of like it was like a middle layer software that helped bigger software deal with PDFs, because PDFs are fairly advanced documents. If I used to be a designer, so I used to make all kinds of PDFs. You can put videos in them, docs in them, signatures in them. Like we've all done lots of PDFs. They're complicated. And he developed software to help bigger companies like Dropbox and Apple figure out how to deal with PDFs. I can't even remember the name of the company. It was like it was definitely named by a developer because it wasn't memorable. Didn't matter. It was very valuable. He was the lead guy behind it. So he sells that company. It kind of floats for a while. And he kind of falls out of love with code. He loved code. Meanwhile, this vibe coding thing starts picking up. He's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Huh. And he just starts playing with it. He's like, I wonder if I can get it to do this. Huh. And then he develops like 40 something, like in the low 40s, different applications. He vibe codes them and starts to become familiar with how AI works. And a lot of those parts, he starts pulling a lot of them together, a lot of those individual of those 40 applications. He's like, I wonder if I could tie a bunch of these things together so I can come up with one super agent. We're going to call it Claude Bot. And that becomes the thing. He open sources it on GitHub where other developers can come and pull it and experiment with. He's like open sourcing all of these things. He's like, hey, here's a tool I built. Here's a tool I built. I'm using this one to run my Spotify. I'm using this one to log into Twitter or X. I'm using this one for this. And he just starts building a bunch of these things. He vibe codes them all. He's like, oh, whatever. Little experiments. He's quite wealthy. He doesn't need to work. He's just playing now. And then he pulls them all together into OpenClaw and open sources it, and freaking everybody loses their minds because it's actually good. It can actually take action. It actually gets things done reasonably well. So the drama begins when, of course, he called it Claude Bot. So Claude from Anthropic, their legal team's like, hey, man, not cool. We're going to require you to change that. He's like, okay, can you at least give me 2 days? He changes it to Moltbot, not a great name, but he only had 2 days to try to figure out how to do this. In the transition to Moltbot, it takes like only a few seconds, and the scammers like get all his usernames from Moltbot and grab his old names. So they start like spamming the heck out of his old names that he had, right? Because he has to move off of Claudebot, and then they take his Claudebot URL and just start getting people to buy into crypto scams. Not cool. So he's like, okay, he almost quits at this point and just like, screw it, I'm just gonna give up because like I don't need to deal with this. This is just freaking nuts. But he's like, fine, I'm done. He's like, I think a lot of people had also committed to the project because it's open source. People are writing code on top of it and fixing it. It's become a community really fast. He's like, for their sake, I'm gonna try this one more time. Pivots to OpenClaw. And finally does it right, gets all the URLs, gets all the other old URLs back, and does it right and moves forward. But like by this point, the thing's gone nuts. Like it's going viral.
It's going
Tens
viral.
of thousands
Totally
of people forking this GitHub and building it with themselves now. Like it's the cat's out of the bag, and this thing's the most powerful thing anybody's ever seen by far. It's not secure, not good for marketers to use, but like it's definitely a picture of the future. Definitely. Anthropic, nothing. They say nothing. But meanwhile, Sam Altman from OpenAI starts, like, everybody's calling this guy by this point. Every venture capital company is like trying to pitch him instead of him pitch them, right? Everybody wants this guy on their team. Everybody wants to own this software. But Sam Altman gets there first. So Mark Zuckerberg does too. Of course. Classic Zuck is trying to get in on the action. But guess what? Sam Altman wins and pulls him onto the team. They decide to keep OpenClaw open source in a foundation. But now Peter is working full time for OpenAI to see his vision all the way through with all their resources and direct access to their models, and even their unreleased models that they're currently working on, which is kind of ironic because the whole thing started as Claudebot. And that was the main thing everybody was using, was Anthropic's Claude. That was the main API they were pulling from to run this thing. And Anthropic was just like, nah. And OpenAI freaking jumped in.
Why do you think?
Like, snatchums. Like,
why do you think
could have had it?
Why do you think Claude was just like not thinking bigger picture and trying to work with him? You know what I mean? It's like, for me, that's just like the low calorie decision. Water flows to the least resistance place, and I'm like, that you did the most unthoughtful, just lazy thing by going cease and desist, trademark, whatever. I'm like, dude,
I don't know. There could be multiple reasons. They've said nothing about this. They've actually since they've been like brought into OpenAI, they've made other steps to distance themselves from it. So they're doubling down,
bro.
Could be ego. It could be, hey, we actually have something in the pipeline that's kind of similar to this, and like we don't really need that. And so we don't, and it was confusing. I'm not gonna lie. When Claudebot came out, I was like, is this something Anthropic's doing? I think everybody thought that. Like, is this an official Anthropic thing, or is this not? Like, I don't know.
How about it wasn't, but it is now? It's like,
well, now it's officially an OpenAI thing, which is funny that he changed the name.
How smart it would have been. Like, okay, it's already called Claude. You got a guy going viral, and they're just like, yep, Claudebot. It's nasty. It doesn't work great. Everyone loves it. It could screw you up, but hey, we're working on it. It will get better. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it would have accelerated their rise and pulled OpenAI farther behind. But now OpenAI, it's funny that they changed the name to OpenClaw and then they got acquired by OpenAI. I'm like, dude, the irony.
Oh man,
the freaking irony in that story. So what does this mean for marketing? You can expect the timelines to probably accelerate a little bit on this OpenClaw thing. Sam Altman's not going to let that go, and he's going to be like it'll be open source, but clearly there's going to be way more connection to OpenAI's APIs than everybody else's. It'll probably, you can still connect everybody else's, but there will be advantages because now OpenAI is going to be able to build specifically into it in a much more compelling way. So this whole thing puts ChatGPT ahead on agentic use in a totally different way. that's good because like OpenAI, we're like, dang man, everyone's coming at them. They're losing steam. This move, I'm like, yeah, this was a solid move that's we're gonna feel 6 months from now that could keep OpenAI ahead this year. Because I think that was the big question at the beginning of the year is like, does OpenAI stay ahead this year, or does someone does Google finally take over?
Wow.
Or I don't think I can't imagine Claude would be the one that takes over, but it could. I don't know.
I have thoughts about Gemini taking over just in a small way, but we'll get to that maybe in your next point here.
Yeah. So lastly in the news, I'm kind of bundling two pieces of news because they kind of just become like, wait, what? Okay, whatever. But there's two new model releases, not major ones, minor ones, but they're still kind of a big deal. Gemini 3.1 thinking. We went from 3 to 3.1, and it is better. It is smoother. It was a noticeable upgrade. One of the tests that I've seen people do with this, and so let me get the summary out. It's like 3.1 came out for Gemini, and then Claude launched 4.6 Sonnet. We went from 4.5 to 4.6. Both of them noticeably better models. Let's start with Gemini. Gemini's is definitely better, especially when it comes to code. A big test I've been seeing people do is the code up SVGs. You know what an SVG is?
Nope. Oh, like a file? Is it like a video file?
It's a graphics file. So an SVG is specifically a web-focused vector file. A vector is a mathematically calculated curve or a type of like design file that's mathematically based. So like it's kind of like a good logo file. You can zoom in as long as you want. It never pixelates because the curves and all the angles are mathematically calculated. That's why we use them in web design a lot, especially for logos. But since they're mathematically calculated, the file is essentially just code. I mean, all files are, but like this one can be manipulated live. So designers will use SVGs in fancy ways to create motions, sometimes really fancy ones. So the trick has been like, can these code models create SVGs that are not just SVGs, but animations? And a common one I've been seeing is a pelican riding a bike. And before 3.0 had like a pelican, you could tell it was a bike, you could tell it was a pelican, but the legs were kind of like kind of wrong. The wheels weren't quite moving right, but you could tell where it was going. It executed it like a 5-year-old would, it just it wasn't quite there. But now you're like, nope, definitely pelican, definitely looking good. Does it look like master art? No, but pelican, all the limbs are moving in the correct way. It's on the pedals, like everything's going. You're like, okay, noticeable difference. Claude 4.6 is so good. It's specifically their Sonnet. It's like their mid-tier model. Opus is their big model, and no one's heard of Haiku's their like fast model, but they haven't talked about Haiku in like almost a year now. So the big claim to fame they've had is over the last month, Opus has been crushing it. It's their big expensive model. And it's been the leader in everything, like in a lot of things, especially for code. 4.6 Sonnet, their mid-tier model, is almost now just as good as their big model. But the advantage is it's way cheaper to run. So even free users have access to Claude 4.6.
Wow.
This is important. Marketers, I used to say this all the time. It has now changed. I used to say commit to one platform and just use it. But now, even if you only have the free tiers of Claude, maybe you pay for ChatGPT, great, do that. But even if you just have the free tiers of Gemini and the free tier of Claude, they are freaking good. There is no excuse to not have the free accounts on your phone and on like a bookmark on your freaking tab in your browser, because there are some subtle differences between these ones and they do really well. If you want to write good copy, Claude crushes. If you want to deal with lots of data, Gemini is where I'm going.
Dan, that was very convincing. I felt an energy surge through me to go, why do I not have the free version downloaded? I just want you to know what you just said was potent. I was like, I need to jump on this yesterday. That's what it made me feel. So if you listen to that, if you didn't have that same feeling, you don't have a pulse.
It's time. It's time to just straddle all three. And honestly, because you can just get away with so much for free now, it's like, this is it's one of the things. It's the delight of capitalism driving everything to like zero, right? They won't always stay for zero. Once there's a clear winner in this race, like hopefully hopefully the capitalism continues working and it doesn't like monopolize, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
But for now, like, take the winnings and the freedom to be able to do this. And if you find you're using one past the limits and you're like running into the limits all the time, it might be time for an upgrade, and that's okay too. I know people who pay for all three. I'm currently paying for ChatGPT and Gemini. Gemini is like by default because I pay for Workspace already, so I already have the paid version of Google's AI stuff. Claude, I kind of upgrade to if I need to do a lot of writing, like if I'm writing a whole book with it or something, then I'll pay for Claude. Otherwise, I'm just using the free one right now because I'm not doing enough work to justify it.
This is a little segue, just quickly. I don't know if you've noticed OpenAI's image generation versus Gemini's. I don't know what Gemini did, but I feel like Gemini throttled back their image creation without making a big deal about it, thinking, oh, well, we got all the attention because ours was clearly faster and better, and it was better at reasoning on what you wanted and all this stuff. Now, I still run both. I use the same prompts for both Chat and for Gemini, and ChatGPT has been winning like 5 out of the last 5 images I've had it create for what I need. It does better. And Gemini seems to have like lost, it literally pulled back a few points. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you've noticed it. It feels subtle, something they wouldn't want anyone to know, but I think it's intentional. Have you noticed anything like that?
No, I've heard people say this a lot, like the models have been pulled back from the beginning. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never really noticed it personally. I've heard it said about ChatGPT. I've heard it said about Gemini. I've just heard it said
the
a
only
lot
way
over the
I
last 6
noticed
months
is
about
because
everybody.
Gemini, every time I had Gemini make something, I'm like, oh, it wins. Oh, it wins. Oh, it wins, especially in image creation. And now it has, I mean, flopped dramatically. Anyways, I don't know if OpenAI is just getting better or Gemini pulled back, but that's my thought. Moving on.
Following up on our AI Business World contest that we ran, a winner was selected. And I literally just got an email kickback saying the email didn't exist, which is really funny. I'm like, I could have typoed it, but the winner has been selected. You have not forgotten. But I need the person to like tell me they've accepted the winnings. Otherwise, I have to pick a different winner. Because like, I don't know, maybe they can't show up at the time, but they wanted to get it anyway, or just see. I don't know. But a winner has been selected. The email bounced. I will do my diligence to even find them on LinkedIn if I have to. But if I can't get a hold of them, then that's a bummer. But if you typoed your email into the form, like it could be you. So I'm trying to get a hold of you, and I'll follow up next week with the name. Well, I may announce that. Maybe you don't want to be announced, but
I mean,
the winner has been selected.
You could always just give a first name,
Yeah, I give a first name. I could do that. Winner has been selected.
Like right now, like what's the first name? Who won?
No, because I want the person to say, yes, I accept the winnings. So I'm not going to announce it because it might end up being someone else. And what if I don't get a hold of this person? So
Sheila from Florida, you have won. I don't know. I just made it up.
He just made that up. That is not Sheila from Florida. All right, but sponsor of the week, since we've covered our AI Business World, of course, is High Level. I just got off the phone yesterday with a company that just doesn't have the systems. They're operating out of Constant Contact and Excel sheets. I'm like, let me show you how high level works. And I did a demo and kind of showed them like, this is what you need to do. This is how you go from lead to getting them in the first stage of the sales process. This is what a sequence can look like. Look, it's not that hard. Drag and drop automation. You have the specific thing, so High Level can do this here. And they were like, oh, they almost, like one lady in particular, I could see her like nodding her head, but I'm like, I know, it makes you want to cry, right? Because you've been doing this on hard mode for years now. It's time to upgrade. I swear, if you haven't checked out High Level yet, just go watch some tutorials on YouTube. I need to make my own tutorial to show you how good it is. I'm overdue for that. But you can get an extended trial if you go to danchez.com/high level. If you're in the market for a CRM and marketing automation platform, there really isn't something better unless you're a massive business. Like if you're doing over 20, 30, 50 million, maybe High Level isn't the right fit. But if you're anything below that, High Level is definitely capable.
Love that.
And way less expensive than everything else and does all the stuff often better. So check it out, danchez.com/high level. Moving on to everyday AI. Trav, what do you got?
Playing on a frozen pond with my kids, pushing them on a sled, and, getting closer to 40, not as coordinated as I thought. Slipped, knees buckled in, heard a pop, as my knee left
Oh, it
hit
hurts
the
just hearing
ice,
it.
but it popped before it hit, which means something tore, and I felt my knee just be like jello. So I tore something. I think it was my MCL. So I'm like, do I go to the doctor? I can barely walk. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't got money for that. So I just give me the information. It's so nice to like just chat GPT this up and go, can I just have, okay, best case scenario, minor, medium, major thing, like how does this work? It
Yeah.
basically isolated the incident. It's probably your MCL. This is probably what it feels like if it's minor, if it's a medium thing. And I'm like, when is surgery needed? Tell me when does a doctor really affect how this thing heals better? And it's like you will only get surgery on your MCL if you are like you tore the thing just clean off. And most likely you didn't do that, but you need to wait to see for a day or two to see. So I waited for a day, and sure enough, within 3 days, my knee started feeling so much better. I can run on it again. And that was like a couple weeks ago. So didn't go to the doctor, just waited to see it out. So thank you, chat. Dr. Chat. Is it medical advice? No. Can it be? No. Is it helpful? Absolutely. Man,
It's
so
just
glad I
helpful
didn't go to the
because
doctor.
medical is just so complex. There's so many
Totally. And
nuances.
if you go to
WebMD, freaking,
WebMD,
you're
they're like, if
gone.
you don't go to the doctor, you're dead. Every time you might die. I'm like, okay.
This is actually an update that I haven't announced on the show because it's not relevant for marketing, but it still is really helpful. Like so many people are using it for this exact type of use case and for illnesses. And I'm feeling this. Like, what should I do? What are some good remedies? What is the doctor going to say? So many people are doing that. A lot of the AI companies are now integrating health stuff into their AIs. ChatGPT released like a beta version of health, so you can sync it with
Wow.
your Apple data, your
Wow.
Apple Care data, or whatever so that then
That's
all
cool.
your sleep data and all that kind of stuff can be synced into ChatGPT. It's in a beta. I applied, but I don't have access to it yet. But I've talked about creating a health ChatGPT project where it has like
Right.
my blood work and all that kind
Yep.
of stuff, and I just have chats with it in there, so it has my health context and history.
Oh, it'll start spotting things so much sooner.
Yeah.
And doctors just from having all that access. Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people are like, I don't want it to know that kind of stuff. I'm like, frick, then this isn't for you. Don't share that.
Uh-huh.
But for a lot of us who are kind of like, nope, take all my data, tell me what's up before it becomes a problem. Because we all know proactive medicine is like really where the game is at.
Yes.
If you're reacting to it, then you would have wished you were more proactive with the course diet and exercise stuff. But if you can proactively find things and deal with them, that's why I'm hoping to I can't wait to get access to the thing where you can sync your sleep data and your nutrition data and your workouts to it. So I can kind of like monitor it and then actually give you really good feedback. I'm like, yes. And then work with you and your doctor for guidance, right? That's the goal. Something I did with ChatGPT is I had to give a little 5-minute presentation or a little vision casting at a company thing. I had 5 minutes and I'm like, okay, I need to come up with an outline. And I just it's so nice to just be able to hit dictate ChatGPT. Here's the thing. I have to give a 5-minute presentation. I don't have long. I'm addressing a whole company and I need to cast vision for the future. Here's the general line of thinking that I'm going with. Help me formulate this and make it a little bit more concrete because this is a little bit abstract right now. Just to have it as a thinking partner and you kick it off. You have the main idea that's rough, but it's on demand. It's 24/7, 365. You have someone to spitball with on whatever idea you have in the moment that you can actually do it because sometimes you only have a few free moments in order to deal with these little items that you need, right? You're in between.
Yeah.
You're in the car for a moment before your kid comes out from school. Whatever it is, it's in your pocket and you could just spitball it, actually find a resolution, copy and paste it and have it for later. It's so nice.
I took a picture from Google Maps and I asked it to count parking spaces in a parking lot, thinking, okay, I don't want to sit there and count 250 parking spots. I'm like, maybe if I just screenshot it from Google Earth, I'll just throw it into chat and say, can you count the parking spaces in this parking lot?
Did it?
No, it really couldn't do it.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, this looks like it's out of range.
I'm like, it's an empty parking lot. It sees the lines. I'm like, you know what a parking spot is? Yes, I see the lines. I know what a parking spot is. I'm like, all right, how many are there? It's like, yeah. So
it still struggles with counting basic things. It just hurts.
Grade school kid. Okay, I want you to count how many parking spaces in this picture, and you just mark off which ones you've already counted so you don't double count. It's like, sure. Oh my gosh, can't do what a first grader.
Dude, ChatGPT, the higher levels, they're now testing it with math that hasn't been figured out by humans yet. They're letting it go on problems that like humans have been working on and haven't found a solution for yet. But they know it's theoretically possible. So chat's starting to find them and present them, and then they're so complicated that it takes a team of experts like a long time to figure out if it's actually
Proof
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the level of math it's doing. Yet it can't count parking spots, and that's just the dichotomy of AI. So it's good to cover it though, because I don't think a lot of people get caught off guard all the time with the shortfalls of AI, and they're like AI is stupid. I'm like, no, you just have to be aware of where the potholes are, and there
Uh-huh.
are a few. This is one of them. My last one is, man, I used ChatGPT this week to kind of like navigate some like legal compliance stuff. I was working with a friend in a specific industry. It was like in the medical industry, so we're navigating like, okay, like HIPAA stuff when it comes to marketing and CRMs and stuff, and trying to understand the nuances of it. I'm like, well, we're thinking about this. Like, where does that cover? Because laws are written to be very specific and sometimes oddly vague, to give some wiggle room. So you can, of course, it's always better to talk to a lawyer about that. But at sometimes, like if you're just trying to come up with a quick campaign, it doesn't make sense to talk to a lawyer about it. So to have ChatGPT to kind of be like, a thought about it, or to something to kind of like at least get a better understanding and do some research so you're not like just guessing, is really helpful. Moving on to the poll of the week. Of course, we kicked it off with this: are marketers ruining AI, or more likely is AI ruining marketing? I had to go to the poll and ask my LinkedIn fam, my LinkedIn crew. It felt weird to say fam. I'm like, no, let's just call it LinkedIn crew. I asked them, can content made with AI ever be quote unquote authentic? And then just above that, I said, define authentic however you'd like. This is a poll about perceptions. It's funny. I still had people in the comments like being like, well, it depends what you mean by authentic. I was like, freaking, did you read the statement above? I know I'm not going to define it. Just tell me whatever you think it is. Vote for that. And here were the options. And then I'll tell you the breakdown. I had, can content made with AI be authentic? I had yes, absolutely can be. Yes, if you feed it your ideas. And then the next one is maybe, but it's pretty rare. And then not really. No.
No.
I try to phrase it in a way to catch your like,
Oh,
range.
you romantics.
So here's the breakdown. Yes, absolutely can be. Got 24%. It's a pretty good chunk. Yes, if you need it, if you feed it your ideas, 51%, which is where I land. Like you have to feed it to make it authentic. You have to give it the right context. That's what I've been beating. And of course, my LinkedIn crowds, the people who follow me and engage with me on LinkedIn, like there's a reason why they engage with me, because they already buy into like how I talk about AI. So of course it's going to lean heavy towards that. But I still wanted to see. Maybe, but it's pretty rare is 9%. And then not really no is 16%. So that's the current breakdown. How does that hit you?
Yeah, that seems right to me. I mean, I'm glad there's the majority of people are I think smart enough to realize that if you feed it the right thing, it's going to do what you need it to do. So I'm in agreement. I'm not surprised there's that many people that are like, no, never. Because the more people you just are trying to help understand the benefits of AI, you just meet those people that are just like, this is ruining all of society. I'm like, okay. Yeah, no.
Again, the strength of AI depends on your personal values, convictions, experiences, and stories. I think those are going to matter. It's going to matter for building trust, because everything else is going to become commodity. And so the things that aren't commodity are the things that can't be replicated easily. And those things can't be replicated easily. Everything else can be. Now, there are some people that disagree with that and think AI will be able to replicate those. But I'm like, yeah, but humans, it'll be able to replicate those and come up with backstories and all that kind of stuff. And that'll be a thing. That'll be a thing. We'll be talking to, like, there will be influencers that are just fake characters, and they don't have to be strung by like pretending to be people. They will be obviously AI, and they will be amazing. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It's like, imagine like the next like Iron Man, Tony Stark character comes out, and it doesn't even have to be tied to a human. It could just be what it is, and it has a fit. story and personality and videos, and it's a character and you enjoy it, and then you can interact with them on X. It'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be really funny to see that person show up in your comment feed giving their 2 cents. Like it'll just be a thing. There will be fake characters we interact with, and then and real ones. So I won't down that, but naturally, I think human tendency is to have a hunger for what's real, a hunger for actual human interaction, and there will be a way in the future, hopefully, to like verify that they're humans online, and that those particular raw stories are going to be
just have it count parking spots.
Have it count parking spots.
Send it a picture and say, count these parking spots.
Verify humanity, count parking spots.
That's funny.
Okay, and we're going to wrap up with the viral post of the week. And I got to say, like, there's so many seed dance videos out there now. We talked about it last week, but they're like all over the place. Bro.
It's next level.
And they're so good.
It's like 90%. We're just need that last 10% shine for these clips to be flawless.
Yeah. Like there's some stories I want to see so badly done that I'm like, I wouldn't even care. This would be good enough. If you made the movie that never got made and it was just this, I would be okay.
It's like better than CG. It's better than CGI. I'm looking at this cat's face playing this character, and I'm like, this is better than CGI.
100%.
I'm sure CGI could do this. It just costs so much. It costs so much money. And then what's the point of doing a 60-second thing?
Yeah.
But AI can do it in 2 minutes. I'm like, this is wild.
This is the video that caught my attention this week. And the one Travis is referencing is this video of like these like Kung Fu Kitty showdown. And there's like one on the bridge. And they're just acting out a scene. They're cats, but they look real. They don't even.
Oh, they're not Kung Fu. They're wizards.
They're wizards. Yeah. They're like they have a battle. There's a dark one and a good one. And the dark one kills the good one. But I'll link to it in the notes. You definitely have to watch it to know like this is where we're at, because it's hard to get the hair right. Again, it looks more real than CGI does. And the acting is actually kind of good. The voiceovers are like pretty good. Like you're like, oh, like this looks like a legit video of these cats, like just cats showing up and doing wizardry and blasting each other. It's like this little just short scene, but it looks like it came out of a larger video.
It's the fur, dude. There's so much fur on a cat's face, and the level of detail where you can see the millions of little pieces of fur blowing in the wind just perfectly, bro.
The other thing that they did even better than Disney is the expressions on the cats' faces. Like if you watch the live action Lion King, and you're like,
it's awful.
It looks like their faces, like and the emotions on the real looking tigers don't even look quite right. Right. But if you want to see what it should have looked like, just watch this AI film. It literally did better than Disney did on their like multi-$100 million budget film. And that film was a wild success because it's Lion King and people freaking love Lion King. But this was better. Okay, we'll link to it in the show notes. Go and watch it and you'll see for yourself. But again, this is coming. It's like I still don't think we'll have a full movie in theater made with AI in theater.
It's only February, brother.
I think it'll be possible. I think getting into theaters takes too much work. Like the amount of work you have to do. You have to make the movie.
Some studio is already working on it. For sure, they're working on it. It will be announced in April. Be put into theaters by August. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe Seed Dance is probably good enough to produce it.
I think so.
But because you have to start working on that stuff ahead of time. So I'm just thinking project management wise, like the amount they have to build backwards towards in order to make it live and promote it properly and to get it out there. I'm like, it's going to be tight, man. Seed Dance is probably close enough to where they actually could do it justice.
Man, people are going to get in trouble because they're going to start using, it's the same thing OpenAI struggled with when they had Scarlett Johansson's voice as one of the main voices. The voice from this cat is clearly Benedict Cumberbatch. Like it is clearly his voice. And I'm like, that's going to be a problem.
But like, how do you know? Like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh, dude. How did I know? I knew from 3 seconds of watching him. He goes, brother. I'm like, okay, Benedict.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting world. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in and submitting your submissions and leaving reviews for that contest. Still not too late to buy tickets yourself. If you didn't win, though, if you did apply, just know I'm trying to reach you. It might be you. But join me this April at the AI Business World coming up in Anaheim. You can go check it out. Just Google AI Business World or go to socialmediaexaminer.com. You can find links to the event.